All right, guys, welcome back. We're doing things a little differently today. I'm going to go ahead and start the intro to show you what we're doing. So you got to see our garden build, but today we're going to start actually putting some things in the ground, start tilling up the ground a little bit again, get some of these weeds out and get them prepped as the last frost is coming around. So we are going to be able to start putting some stuff in the ground, which is super exciting. I've got a couple pots in here with elephant ears. I don't think they're gonna come up. I think I killed them from last year. So we'll see on that. I gotta get some flowers in our hanging pots, which I'm really excited about. Obviously we have some trees over here, some new additions, but these are actually gonna go in the front yard. We have a red delicious apple, a Honeycrisp apple. We have a peach, and then we have a plum tree. So the 4 of those will go out front, including our fig bush. I have a bunch of different bushes here that were on sale at Home Depot, some lilac, some hydrangeas. So we'll see what happens with them. And then I have the tiniest little fern coming up, which I'm so excited about because I love ferns. Over here is our seeds. We have quite a bit in here. A lot of them were started downstairs in our greenhouse, which you'll actually be able to see in a little bit. But today I'm going to be directly sowing in onions, carrots, and some marigold, since they're a little bit hardier and can do a little bit better in some cold conditions until things get warmer, where we can move the stuff in our greenhouse out. The boys are stalking me at the moment because I threw eggshells in the garden beds to add a little bit of fertilizer and calcium, and they think they should eat them, but I'm pretty sure the little one has a chicken allergy, so we can't risk that, hence the gate and stuff like that to keep them out of here. But we do have 4 garden beds in total, so I'll be doing the outer edge of all 4 today with onions, carrots, and we have a couple different types of each. And then we have 2 trellises, so obviously our vining plants, including I did get some loofah, which I'm super excited about, are gonna go on these to start producing and going up those. Our grape is finally coming in. We have a couple little buds going on, so at some point we'll have to build a little bit of a trellis T-shaped stand for that to go around. But yeah, so this is kind of what we're doing today. So you'll get to watch me dig these up and then plant some of those seeds directly in. And then we'll do another video in a couple weeks after the last frost of us putting everything in the actual garden beds. So you can see that as well. All right, so down here is our makeshift greenhouse that we've kind of been using to try to get some stuff growing before the season. We've done pretty well, I would say, for our first time. Obviously, we're doing things a little differently with just solo cups rather than your traditional pots and things like that. So up here we have a bunch of different peppers, tomatoes, green beans, cucumbers. Down here we have more tomatoes, different kinds of cucumbers. I actually have some loofah, which I'm really excited about. We are going to make our own loofah. Down here is a little bit of a graveyard. Whatever hasn't survived has kind of gone down to this level. And then up here we have some stuff that's just starting to come in. So like watermelon, a little bit of zucchini. We have this zucchini that's gone crazy. We have some Brussels sprouts and broccoli that we're trying to get to grow, a little bit of parsley. And then up top we have some lavender. Those things really didn't grow the best in the greenhouse. I think they need to be put directly in the ground, which is things like the onions and the carrots, which we are doing today. Then we have chamomile. We have a little bit of mint coming in, some green onion. This stuff needs a little bit of love. And then we've realized things like spring mix, spinach, and lettuce grow extremely fast. So they're something that we're probably going to put directly into the ground, since they'll grow and start producing vegetables ASAP, so we can harvest that right away. Now, a little surprise, which is going to be one of our next videos, is we did something, more like I did something. They're all kind of sleeping right now, but we may or may not have gotten 19 chickens. A little bit of overachievers here, you know, go big or go home. We got a bunch of little girls in here. See if we can't get them moving for you. Brian made this, by the way. Amazing man. We got all our girls. Can you say hi? Come here. A little bit scared of the camera. But this little baby who's super friendly. Well, you get the gist. They're a little afraid right now. They're still learning to be friendly and to hang out with us. But that is probably going to be one of our next videos. Is going to be the coop build, which is going to be pretty significant since I have 0 self-control. And instead of getting 4 or 5, I got 19. And my brother is giving me 2 more. So we'll have 21 right now in total for this upcoming season. And we should probably get eggs from them probably starting like July or August. They've still got a bit to grow. They're only 2 weeks right now. So we've got some time on our hands. Alright guys, today is a new day, so we've got some new updates. I have 0 self-control at this point and got more chickens. So in here we have 7 new little babies. They're in quarantine upstairs for the first week just to make sure everybody is all okay, not sick or anything like that before we introduce them to the other ones. But I'm giving some to my sister-in-law, and then she's actually got a couple more for me as well. So we're going to have a lot of chickens here pretty soon. Definitely looking forward to the coop build because it is going to be pretty significant to house all of my little babies. So I'm going to go ahead and take you downstairs and show you an update on our big girls since they are like 3.5 weeks at this point and definitely much larger compared to our little babies in here. All right, and here is our big girls. We are definitely continuing to grow. I have a little tray in there to try to keep the bedding out of their water and keep them from spilling it. But we've got all of our little girls in here, loving their new roosting bars, learning how to fly. Definitely just getting huge, especially this one. We'll see if our little friend comes up to us. Starting to get friendly and get little personalities and say hello. And enjoy pecking us. So we'll definitely have some cool updates to come for these girls, but just to show you how they're progressing, they don't go outside until they're about 6 to 8 weeks. So we still got a bit of time to get things situated, but we'll definitely keep you updated as things go on. Today is a gorgeous day. It's definitely nice and cool outside. Perfect to get some plants in the ground. We're not looking at any freezing or frost dates coming up in the next couple weeks, so this is a good day to go ahead and get things planted in the garden. We're also going to be planting some hydrangeas out front that I had gotten, and then we will also be planting our fruit trees in the front yard as well, kind of over everything being in pots and having to take care of them. So excited to get all of these in the ground. We bought some of herbs because ours weren't doing so great downstairs, and I was over it, so I just bought some. And then we'll be working on getting all of the bigger plants from downstairs into the garden today so we can start managing and taking care of all of that. All right, so we're trying to measure everything off of the street to make it as even as possible, since we're going to be putting 2 of the trees here and then the other 2 on the other end of the property way down there, but trying to make everything kind of match up and in line also with the neighbors, since theirs are also in a straight line, to make everything look as nice and neat as possible. All right, so the trees are in the ground, planted. I want to give a little feature to this awesome cart Brian got me from Harbor Freight. I'm obsessed. He's making fun of me, but it's like my favorite thing ever because I hate carrying stuff everywhere, and it's just super convenient. So yeah, come with me while we plant the rest of the vegetables in the garden out back. Look at our little people watching us. What are you doing? He's excited.
Good job, buddy.
All right, so now that we have everything outside, we can get a good idea of exactly what we have, how much of what we have, and where everything needs to go in the garden beds. So I am going to go ahead and go get everything laid out to see exactly where I need to plant it and what my spacing is going to look like.
All right, guys, we are getting ready to wrap things up for the day. I am exhausted and I'm over it at this point. I think we might have overdid it on growing vegetables this year, but hey, I still got some stuff that's got to go in the ground. But we put quite a bit in today. Some stuff we need to directly sow in, so like spring mix, lettuce. But for the most part, I've got 3 plants at each trellis, 3 of each tomato plant in the ground. It's kind of hard to see it because the soil's so dry and they're small. But then we've got 3 here, another 3 over here. The loofah is up. I need to figure out a way to try to get it to start vining up. Over here we have some zucchini. We've got 3 peppers, more tomatoes, 3 peppers. All of our berry bushes are along the outer edges. Trying to see if I can get the strawberries to come back to life. I doubt it, but we'll give it an A for effort. We've got jalapenos, lemon drop, lunchbox peppers, and then some cucumbers. So we did get as much as possible in here today. Like I said, keep in mind I have some stuff around the outside, but maybe someday throughout the week I'll start putting some things in between. I really need things to kind of start growing to get an idea of what space I have remaining before I can start filling in the rest. But some of those other things do grow pretty fast. I think spring mix and lettuce are about a 45-day harvest. So those I'm not too quick about getting in the ground since they don't need as much time. But well, that wraps things up for this video. So until next time, thanks guys. All right guys, I just wanted to give a quick update. It has been a couple weeks now since I did the garden. I am not the best at YouTube videos or staying consistent, so now you get to see at least our progress of where everything is at and how much has grown, what still needs to grow. I clearly need to weed. Our grass is growing better in our garden beds than it is in our yard, which is just fantastic. But we had some things die, and then we had to replace a few things. So I have a bunch of tomatoes. We went and got basil. I planted lettuce and some spring mix all along the back of all of our beds. We have a couple broccoli down here. On this side, we planted some watermelon. That way when they start vining, they can kind of actually vine out and around, since there isn't anything on this side of the garden. Some of our bigger tomatoes are doing really good. We have more basil, some Brussels sprouts. We actually have okra right here, more lettuce and carrots and all of that around the back. All of my loofah died, so I replanted it, so I'm waiting for something to pop up. My grapes are doing fantastic. We're actually just going to let them vine along the fence here, but I have real little grapes growing, which I'm really excited about. Then over here, we have more carrots and things coming up. Like I said, it's really hard to see because of all the grass growing in the bed, but we also have our zucchini, which is doing pretty good. A lot of our peppers are starting to finally grow, more tomatoes. We went and we bought a couple things because, like I said, a lot of our seeds died. So we went and bought a couple pepper plants. That is actually celery in the back. Same thing over here, more celery, more pepper plants. I'm pretty sure that is a sunflower from chicken poop, which is kind of gross, but it's a good fertilizer, but it's growing. So I left it. And then we have a few little peppers in there. You can't even see them because of how high the grass is. and then our cucumbers. We did go ahead and plant some more green beans and things like that around the trellises. However, you can't see them yet because I just planted them, so they need to grow. We got a couple cool plants in addition to what we already had. This is actually a peanut plant, so I'm excited to see what happens there. I need to get it in a bigger plot. And then we also went and got a strawberry plant because the one that I had died, but they have actual strawberries, so I'm excited to see how that goes. All of our blueberries are actually finally looking like blueberries. All the white powder on it is lime. I had an issue where bugs were eating it, so that's a natural pesticide, especially with this raspberry bush and the one here. But yeah, so just to kind of close everything out for our video, this is where we're at. I'm excited to see what actually does grow and does well. I need to get in and weed, and then you'll kind of see things a little bit better. But we'll have to touch base in a few weeks and see how far and how high everything has gotten. Thanks, guys.
A little